Hi, everyone. All right, this is your math lesson for the week of March 30th. So, we are going to be talking about 10 frames. And here's why. I've heard back from a lot of your parents that you're having a hard time with your math word problems and your addition and subtraction. And I know that we spent a lot of time this year talking about the 10 frame, right? And being able to solve problems without having to count each finger or count each touch point, being able to look at the 10 frame and know what the numbers are, and being able to use the 10 frame to add and subtract. So, we're going to review that today, and we're going to do some word problems that I'm hoping will help you. Let's get started. I've got your schedule up on the screen. So, we're going to start by talking about what is a 10 frame and reviewing what that means so that you can help your parents. And then we're going to practice some word problems together. And after that, you're going to take a turn and solve one at home. And then we'll be all done. All right, guys, so listen up. We are in my basement using my daughter's art supplies. It's just a big old easel whiteboard. At home, you could make this on a piece of paper, or if you want to use technology, let me show you this website. Okay, so this website is Cool Math for Kids, and parents, I will send this out. This is a website where you can practice using frames. So we've got a 5 frame, a 10 frame, a 20, and a 100, or you can make your own. We'll start with the 10 because that's the most familiar. And then you can drag and drop these really cute manipulatives into the 10 frame. So if you want to practice that way, you can. But I would say our students are most familiar with one on a whiteboard or one on a magnet board. So that's what we're going to use today. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about what is a 10 frame. All right, why is it called a 10 frame? It's called a 10 frame because there are 10 spaces in the frame. All right, and if we were to fill all of the spaces in, we would have 10. So for example, I'm going to put an X in each of these boxes. I'm going to fill in my 10 frame. I don't have to count each box because I know there are 10. So when I look at this 10 frame, I can say I have 10. The same way, if I took one away, I wouldn't have to count to 9. I could say, oh, this has one less than 10. I have 9. If we go back even further, let's say we've only got the top row filled in. I don't have to count this. I know that when the top row is filled in, I have 5. Okay? So we can use that 10 frame and we don't have to count each individual mark, manipulative, counter, whatever you're using. When we get past 5, we can use our counting on skills. So if I have this, I know at the top I have 5. I don't have to count that again. So I can go 5, 6, 7. Okay? Let's do another one. Let's say I have 8. I can show that by going 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm counting on. All right. So we've been working on this a lot because it's so important that we're able to count and solve problems without having to use a touch point and without having to count each individual manipulative. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to do a couple different numbers on here. And guys, if you've got a piece of paper at home that you can set up and practice with me, that'd be great. Remember the activity we did in the classroom where we would roll the dice and whatever number came up, we had to make it on our 10 frame? So I'm just going to pick some numbers. Let's start with the number 6. So how do I make the number 6 on the 10 frame? Well, I'm going to start by filling in the top row. Now I have 5. I need one more. 5, 6. That's how we make 6 on the 10 frame. Great work. All right. Let's go ahead and make another number on the 10 frame. How about a number that is less than 5? Let's do 4. For this one, I'll just take 1 away from 5, or I can count in my head to get to 4. Looking at this 10 frame, I know I have 1 less than 5, and my number is 4. Great job, guys. Nice work. All right, so that's just the basics of the 10 frame. And again, the goal, parents, is that our students are able to identify quantities without having to count out each individual one. Because the 10 frame can become a 20, can become 100, and that's a great way to be able to group objects into fives and tens and make it easier to count and solve. All right? Nice work, everybody. So that's one. We finished our 10 frame review. Now, at home, you've got some word problems in your binder, and I believe there's a mix of addition and subtraction. We've got some strategies that we use to solve those too. So that's what we're going to review right now. And then we're going to use our 10 frame to solve. So here are some addition and subtraction problems. We're just going to review addition and subtraction to 10. We're going to keep it simple today. All right, so the first word problem says, I have 4 oranges. I buy 3 more. How many do I have now? All right, so there's a couple of important steps. First, I am going to, oh, you can see that good. I am going to set up my problem. And this will look familiar to our students, okay? So first, we need to find the key numbers of the word problem. I have 4 oranges. Well, that's my first number. Good. I buy 3 more. There's my second number. Now we need to figure out, are we adding or subtracting? So the question is, how many do I have now? We're going to look for a key word within the word problem to help us decide if we're adding or subtracting. So I have 4 oranges. I buy 3 more. That's our key word, 3 more. That means this is an addition problem. So we know that we are looking to solve 4 oranges plus 3 more oranges equals how many altogether? Okay, let's use the 10 frame to solve. So I am starting with 4 oranges. How many am I adding? 3. I'm going to use a different shape for that. Okay, so I have 4 oranges. I added 3 more. Now I'm going to use my 10 frame skills to solve. 5, 6, 7. And there's my answer. All right, I'm sure that looks familiar, guys. Okay, let's do another one. Nice job. Like I said, you can be doing this on a piece of paper at home too, and kind of following along. If you've got a whiteboard, you can do it with a whiteboard, or you can print a couple 10 frames out, or you can use that little website that I gave you. All right, let's do number 2. There are 5 flies. 4 fly away. How many are left? All right, I'm going to set up my problem. Okay, let's find those key numbers. I'm going to give you a minute. Read it one more time. There are 5 flies. 4 fly away. How many are left? What's our first key number? It's 5. Great job. What's our second key number? 4. Okay, now we have to decide if we're adding or subtracting. Guys, it says that they start with 5 flies and 4 fly away. How many are left? That tells us we are going to subtract. We are taking the flies away. Starting with 5, 4 are flying away. So on our 10 frame, this is how we would solve. We're going to start with our first number. I don't need to count out each one because I know that 5 fills the top row of the 10 frame. Great. So now I'm taking 4 away. All right. If you're using a whiteboard, you're going to erase. If you're using paper, you know you can cross it out. I'm going to erase. So I'm taking 4 away. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And how many am I left with? Just 1 fly. Nice work, everybody. All right, here's what I want to do now. I am going to pause, and you are going to solve number 3. So what I want you to do is pause the screen. I want you to solve number 3, and I'll read it to you before we do that. I have 2 pencils. I buy 5 more. How many pencils in all? So I want you to pause the video and solve, and then we're going to come back together and check our work together. All right, go ahead and do number 3, guys. I'll be right back. All right, did you get it? Let's see. Okay, so let's set up our problem. Hopefully yours looks like mine. Okay, I have 2 pencils. Did you put 2 in the first space? That's our first key number. I buy 5 more. How many in all? Well, this word problem gives us 2 clues. It uses the word more and in all. So if I put that down as my key word, more, I know we are adding pencils together. It's plus. Did you get 2 plus 5? Okay, let's see how you solved it on the 10 frame. I'm going to start with my first number, which is 2. I am going to add 5 more. And now I am going to see how many I have in all. 5, 6, 7. Did you get 7 pencils? I hope you did. All right, guys, let's go back to our schedule. I meant to check it before. I'm sorry. So we practiced word problems together, and then you just practice a word problem on your own. All right? Now we are finished with our math lesson. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do some of the word problems that are in your binder using a 10 frame. Okay? You can make a 10 frame, like I said before, with a whiteboard or a piece of paper. You could also make your 10 frame on a piece of paper, and then you could use little objects around your house to use as counters. Like if you have little Legos, you can lay a Lego in each of the little frame boxes and use that to solve. There's lots of different ways you can do this. So I want you to practice making numbers on the 10 frame and solving your addition and subtraction word problems on a 10 frame. And then next week, we're going to come back and we're going to review it again and see if we can move on to something a little bit harder, which is where we would have gone if we were still at school. So have a great day. Have a great week. Parents, email me if you have any questions about this. I'm really excited that we got to review some of our math together, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, friends.